Hello everyone, my name is Thomas, and welcome back to another episode of Dane-ish. First of all, I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, although I'm just a little bit late. I hope that you all had a great celebration with friends, family, loved ones, and that 2023 will be the best year yet. Of course, if you haven't watched any of the previous Dane-ish episodes, the series is about me moving to Denmark and kind of just telling you some stories about the ups and downs of moving to a new country and just the overall experience. And trust me, this last month was full of experiences. So let's get right into it. Of course, Christmas time, the time where everyone gets together, shares gifts, eat a lot of food, and just enjoy each other's company. And that's exactly what I was able to do with my Danish family. So I was very fortunate to spend Christmas time with Tobias, Silga, and the family, because if not, I just would have been sitting here alone. Oh my god, that sounds really sad. But anyways, they prevented me from doing that, so they invited me to Christmas dinner, and we were able to exchange some gifts and have some really amazing food, and overall the experience was so good. Of course, there were some bumps along the way, and in fact, I'll tell you one story in particular. So when I was a child, I was helping my parents, peel some carrots, and I was using a potato peeler, and I nicked my finger, and with me, I have this phobia of cutting skin. I don't know if it's actually a phobia, but it freaks me out. So anyways, I was bleeding, I almost fainted, normal stuff. Well, fast forward to Christmas Day, where we were getting ready for the meal, and Silga asked me to peel some potatoes. Now, I normally peel them with a knife, but she said, oh no, just use this one. It should be fine. Well, after about 3 strokes, bam, I nicked my middle finger. I'm not going to give you the finger, but anyways, it was pretty nasty. So at first I played it off pretty well. I pinched it and put a Band-Aid on it, cleaned it, all that stuff. But it wasn't until I laid down and then sat back up again that I started to feel lightheaded. And then just as Tobias and the rest of the family were showing up, that's when it hit. I ended up going to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. I was just covered in sweat. I felt like I was going to puke or pass out or both. But in the end, after taking a few minutes to kind of recuperate myself, get myself focused and not think about it, I was able to go out there and have a great rest of the Christmas. So some of the really interesting gifts that I was given, first of all, was this amazing poster that Tobias and Silga, they customized it, and it has all these different sayings that I've said since I've moved here. And with me and Tobias knowing each other for almost 10 years, there's a lot of quotes that I've said during that time. I also got this really cool world globe that was made out of cork, so you can stick pins in it to show where you've been. So I thought I'll do that with each country that I've been to so far. But overall, everyone had a great Christmas. We had some really great food as well. Again, I'll show a picture of it here. The dessert was also good too. We had rice pudding, which I haven't had in a while, but there is a game that they play here in Denmark, and I think some of the other Nordic countries as well. So one of my jobs was to cut up the almonds and put them in the rice pudding. And then you keep one almond that's not cut, it's perfectly round. And you mix it in to the rice, and at the very end, after everyone's ate their food, you eat the rice pudding as dessert, but you have to try and find the full almond. You're eating through and, you might have one in your mouth, but it's cut or it's in half. The goal is to find it, but also keep it hidden from everyone else so that you see them eat the rest of theirs and make them, eat more than what they want to try to find this almond. And you may be thinking, what's the big deal? Well, if you find the almond, you win this prize, and it was a box full of, essential goodies. Of course, everyone's going through, and the second spoonful, I found it. Now, I could have been nice, I could have been polite like a true Canadian, and just say, oh, I found it. I'm competitive. So I was slowly eating my rice pudding because I knew this was going to happen. So I didn't eat as much dinner so I can have some room for the rice pudding. So at the very end, I had the last scoop, and I say, oh, look, I found it. And everyone's like, oh, cool. And then I said, yeah, on the second spoonful. That was the really cool tradition that we had. Again, Christmas was amazing. I just want to thank Johnny, Eric, Tina, Tobias, and Silga for letting me spend the time with you. You're all amazing and really have helped me since I've moved here. So again, thank you very much. Now fast forward to New Year's. Me, Tobias, Silga, his friend Soren, and then one of our coworkers, Anna, we all got together at their place and we had a really good time, honestly. We watched some movies, we drank some beverages. I don't know why I did that. We got to see the Queen's speech, which I guess is a big thing during the celebration. And then, once midnight hit, the fireworks went off. But it was an awesome celebration and a great way to start off the year. So some personal updates. I finally got my banking done. So I have my own bank card. I can get paid from work finally, which would be great. And with that new bank account, I can pay for things like food, groceries, fines. Fines? Yes, I got fined at the Copenhagen metro station. So I'll give you some little background on this. I just flew back from Finland and I bought my train ticket from the airport to Svendborg. I figured that it would be covered throughout the whole trip, but apparently I'm wrong. So I guess the metro system is not the same or something. I'm still a little bit confused about this, but anyways, I had to pay a fine, which sucked, but I mean, you live and learn, right? That's one of the things that when you're traveling to a different country, it is really hard to find out all the different rules of transportation. And that's why you should really do your research before you travel, or at least ask people, ask locals or someone that can tell you the different rules for everything. So I did mention Finland. I will get back to that in a second, but first I want to update you on some other adventures that I've been on over the past month. First of all, I went back to Aarhus, just explore the city a little bit as well, because I haven't really spent a lot of time in Aarhus. One of the really cool places was the Aarhus Art Museum. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not the best person for art, okay? I don't understand most of it, so someone can literally just throw paint on a canvas and call it art. But anyways, I digress. One of the real cool parts was at the very top, they had this sort of like rainbow ring that you can walk around, and you can see the 360 view of the city, which honestly was my favorite part of exploring that city. After that, I went to Kolding with Silga. She grew up nearby, so it was cool to get like a personal tour of seeing where she went to school, where she grew up, and that sort of thing. And it was kind of a spur-of-the-moment trip, but I really enjoyed it. It was a great time. I got to meet her side of the family as well, which was also pretty cool. It was a really great experience. And finally, Finland, one of my favorite countries of all time. I'm sorry, Denmark, don't get mad at me. I went there to visit a few friends. I met up with my friend Tia. She was in Vasa, which is near the airport in Helsinki. So we hung out for a little bit. But after that, I headed north up to Jyväskylä, where my friend Mikko lives. Now, he's actually a hockey scout. And of course, if you know me, I love sports. So when we started talking, it was just instant connection talking about sports. We went out to a hockey game as well, of course, where the home team, Jyväskylä team, play off against Tampere. God, I can't say the city name. Anyway, they were playing one of the two teams from that city, and unfortunately, they lost in overtime. But it was a pretty cool experience, to be honest. It was so great to meet his wife, Anina, and their little baby as well, Mikael. I became the cool uncle. One could say I'm Uncle Tommy. There's some people that would get that joke. We went on nightly walks, which was so nice. There was so much snow there. They have a really beautiful dog and very much attached to me. Whenever I would walk into the house, he would be glued to me. and I could barely move around the house. I've really enjoyed that. Again, I'm a dog lover, so it was really great to be around the dog again. I miss Bandit and Maxwell, so shout out to you guys. When I was coming back to Helsinki, my train got delayed by an hour, which kind of sucked, but I still had a few hours with my friend Kaisla as well. We went for sushi, hung out. She listened to me complain about the snow for 2 or 3 hours. It's still snowy. It's still cold like Canada. And I can't wait to go back to my 8 degrees and snowing, or raining. Oh God, I'm just thrown off. There's just too much snow. But other than that, the whole experience was great. That's all for this episode of Dane-ish. I want to thank you so much for watching. And again, I want to bring you along with me and see the world through my eyes. And that's what really motivates me to do these sort of things. This is Thomas signing off. Please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.